Hello and welcome to my next training video. Today we're going to be talking about business layering and how that can pretty simply equate to doubling up your sales. Of course, doubling up your sales within the exact same amount of calendar time. So if you're working from 1 hour to the next, let's say Thursday through Tuesday and you take Wednesday off or something like that, then all of that calendar time is being taken up by one thing or another. Usually, most people think of it in a one or another thing, especially if they're doing mega open houses. See my other training video. Don't do normal open houses, do mega open houses where you can sell like 50 homes a year. And while you're doing those open houses, that's a block of time. Let's say 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. In that block of time, it's very tempting to simply do open houses. But at the same time, you can handle other layers of business, okay? And that's what we call business layering. Let's call it an efficiency system. If you're familiar with things like that, it's basically you're going to have to be organized and coordinated, and you're going to need a little bit of help. Well, surprise, surprise. In case you didn't know, I'm Tim Hildebrand with Virtual VACA, and we produce real estate virtual assistants for realtors across the country. And our virtual assistants are trained by yours truly. I am still an active realtor, and I have sold 500 to 600 homes in the last 5 or 6 years. I've been doing this for 12 years, and the previous part of my career was not so glorious, but I'll save that story for another time. So your real estate virtual assistants coming from Virtual VACA are going to be much better than any other company, because those other companies truly do not have on-staff realtor owners who are providing that kind of training to their virtual assistants. And we're going to just be better than everyone else in general because we want to for you. So business layering really does require that you have a virtual assistant, okay? So I'm giving you my secrets to success. I'm giving you all the little things that I hid from my competition in my local market, because I want you to get so busy and so successful that you have to have a virtual assistant. So of course, that's my hidden agenda. That's why I'm giving you all of this, let's say, secret information. And it's well known to thousands of people, maybe even more, around the nation, but it is kept closely guarded, and usually you have to pay a coach thousands and thousands of dollars to get that information. Well, I've got the information, and I'm here in my training videos on my Facebook page, Virtual VACA, Facebook/Virtual VACA, giving you this information one video after another. You can feel free to go subscribe to the page or whatever, and when we release things, you'll be notified and you will have access to this information. Now, let's get into business layering some more. So the first layer that I recommend to new and medium-sized realtors, let's say agents who are doing anywhere from 10 to 20 a year, and also agents who are doing, let's say, 40 or 50 a year, are going to greatly benefit from this. If you're already doing 100 plus sales a year with you and your team, and I know there's some of you out there, you're going to know exactly where you need to fit the virtual assistant. Go ahead and just order one, okay? We're going to provide you somebody with the basic real estate knowledge and the basic training that will adapt to your organization very quickly. But for the rest of you, the vast majority of us selling 10 to 20 or let's say 30 to 50 homes a year, you're going to probably get some information from me that's going to be very helpful to you and might actually propel you to that next level and or just make your lifestyle better. I have met many agents and talked to them personally who are working their behinds off, if you know what I'm talking about. They are working crazy hours in order to sell 20 homes. I know agents who are working 60 hours a week, they sell 20 to 30 homes. Agents who are working that same amount selling 50 homes. Clearly one agent knows a little bit more than the other agent, but let me tell you what's important is working less time to do the same kind of sales. So if you can, instead of working 50, 60 hours a week, you can work 30 hours a week, then by all means, listen to these videos and glean whatever you can out of it, because I was able to sell somewhere around 100 homes a year on average. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that just to get you the information, and I worked about 30 hours a week. That was my world, and I had a different team structure, which you'll see in one of these videos, where I keep most of the commission. I'm not hiring and retaining a bunch of buyer's agents and listing agents to do all my work for me. I found that I personally didn't like that system. Now, business layering, again, layer one, for those of you who are doing 10 to 20, maybe 40 to 50, is the free business of open houses, mega open houses, not normal open houses. You will need to see my other video where I lay it all out one by one, and you will see what I mean. It's not normal open houses, okay? But you do these mega open houses, and the open house becomes your office. And this is let's say a section of time in your calendar. And that time in your calendar, you could just do one business layer, which is to sit and wait for new business in the open houses. And you would be very successful. You could sell 40, 50 homes a year doing that, okay? If you were doing, let's say, 2 to 4 open houses every week. And yes, during the weekdays, surprise, surprise, go see my other video. And you will be enlightened if you're not already doing mega open houses. Here's the thing. This business is free and it's coming in, but it's infrequent, and you're not always everybody who comes in, having a conversation with. So there's a lot of free time that you can be more efficient with. And this is what I was talking about, is business efficiencies, being more efficient with your time. If you're out there at the open house, you're already taking miles of steps ahead of others if you're doing it on a consistent basis every single week. Okay? So now just layer number 2 on there. Put the business layer number 2, which is online leads. Okay, now online leads are going to cost you some money. There's no real way around it. I know of somebody, and I've not personally done this, so I'm just going to tell you, I know somebody who spends hundreds of dollars, and that's it, and he gets multiple sales per that hundreds of dollars. And he's a real master of Facebook viral marketing. And that's wonderful. And you should go after that, because that's really lucrative. The reason why it's so lucrative is most people just don't know how or cannot do it. But really what I'm talking about isn't the super cheap marketing. I'm talking about the easy sort of plug and play marketing, like Commissions Inc., Boomtown, Real Geeks, Zillow, Realtor.com. That's what most people consider to be online leads. So online leads are almost always, no matter who you work with, Commissions Inc., Boomtown, Real Geeks, Zillow, Realtor.com, they're almost always coming from Google, okay? Or Facebook leads. So that's really the root lead of each one of these companies is Google and Facebook. So if you master getting those root leads, you might just get your leads much more cheaply than you are getting them from these companies. So that's layer number 2. Basically, it looks like this. You're at the open house, nobody's coming in, your virtual assistant receives a lead from your Commissions Inc. They call them within 5 minutes, or it's one of the leads they've been calling 15 times. They finally get them on the phone. They're able to screen the lead. The lead turns out to be pretty good. They pass all the screening, and so the virtual assistant gets all happy and is like, I got to transfer this right now to you. So you get the phone call. It has little dollar signs in it because you saved their name, so you would know when they call. You pick up the phone. You pick up the phone, and boom, you're talking to somebody who is pretty good. Like, that's the person you want to be talking to. They've been pre-screened and basically pre-qualified, and you've got some information right there in your CRM. And if it's any one of these companies in your CRM, it'll instantly be in your phone as well, and you can actually see all the notes that your assistant, your virtual assistant from Virtual Vaca, has already put in. So you can actually read everything this person has already told the assistant, and you can have a much, much higher level conversation with that lead. And you're sitting at your open house. So you're doing 2 things at once. So you're filling up that time and being more efficient with that time. It's really that simple. So business layering. 2 layers of just these 2 layers, and you can go into triple-digit sales. I'm not talking about you got to have 6 layers, 7 layers, 8 layers, and have every second of the day be some kind of thing where you're talking to somebody. It's not necessary, okay? And there's other reasons why it sort of self-limits. Because when the layers kind of clash and collide, then you have to pick one or the other. Like, for instance, if a guest comes in at the same time you get a lead, or you're talking on the phone with a great lead, but a guest comes in and they kind of want to talk to you too. You can't do 2 things at once. Oh, well, sometimes that happens. But, unless you're really unlucky, that doesn't happen much. Usually they, come when they come in and they're kind of offset and don't clash. And sometimes they do, and that's okay. Great. That means you're in the right world, okay? If you have clashing business layers, you're doing the right thing. Okay, you're making the most production out of your time. So layer 1 is something like open houses or whatever you're doing every single day with your time. And they're just going to make sure you don't have a lot of just downtime where you're doing nothing, maybe looking at YouTube videos. Hello. Or maybe you are doing something else with your time online, maybe just checking emails again for the 40th time. And nobody's emailed you again, or checking your text. I mean, you know what I mean? You have downtime. You don't really want a lot of downtime. You want some, you want breaks, but you want to layer business into that. All right, I think I've said enough of that. So let me check my notes here, make sure I'm not missing anything. I would say that layering your business is almost impossible unless you have a virtual assistant, because in order to get the online business, you're going to have to do a lot of lead follow-up, which you will see, not just follow-up, but lead conversion, which requires, let's say, and this is the number, 15 calls per week per lead, 3 texts, and a bunch of conversation, and also downtime, just calling. Well, that's going to be really hard to do while you're sitting at an open house or you have some other productive thing going on. But your virtual assistant taking care of all of that, and you need to see my lead conversion video, one of my lead conversion videos. There's a lot to it, but the first one is going over like the initial work on the lead before you find the good leads and screen them. And then when you find those good leads and screen them, then you are taking over from there. I'll have future videos about, from there, when you get the lead, what to do with it. But what I'm talking about is the initial lead conversion. That's calling those leads, picking it up within 5 minutes, calling them 15 times a week for real. And that your virtual assistant's handling all that. And the reason that you can layer this second layer is because the virtual assistant is taking care of all of that. And they're basically just sending you the best ones only when that best one's ready to talk. And then you can take that call whenever. That's a great call, man. If you don't want to call like that, pre-screened, I don't even want to talk to you, because those are the best leads in the industry, okay? And the first best are those ones coming in at the open house and they're ready to buy, and they don't really have a realtor they're committed to, and they've already gotten a pre-approval and the lender hasn't hawked them off to their pet realtor yet, and you are there and they meet you and they like you and they want you to go find them something else or come on over to their house and list their property. Those are great leads, right? Another really great lead is, hey, I've got a lead for you. They want to talk to you right now. I already know that they can get a loan and they want to buy the kind of house in your area that is selling, and they're in the price range that you wanted, and they have a bunch of money down, and they're okay talking to you. They don't really have a realtor yet, and they're okay going out. If you want to ask them out, they'll say, yeah, sure, let's go take a look at some houses. Do you want to talk to that person? Yes, I do. And after I talk to them, I would like somebody to walk through that door of my open house and also talk to me. So I want these multiple things to be happening. And as you can see, depending on your budget will grow, by the way, as you start layering these things and give that layer some time to fruit, to come to fruition. Give it, 6 months or something like that to sort of build up to where you have money in the bank. Then you can start budgeting out expenses to increase online leads. You're not going to increase your open house time beyond 2 to 4 a week, because who wants to be in an open house much longer than that? But you can, let's infinitely increase your online lead budget. But there's going to be a limit there where then you're out of time and you're selling 100 homes or something like that. And even with a full-time virtual assistant, you're still out of time. That's business layering. So I hope this idea gave you some ideas. This concept of layering things efficiently into your time, offloading a bunch of work in producing those online leads off onto the companies of like Commissions Inc., Boomtown. They handle all the marketing and all the advertising, and then they just send you the lead when it comes in, but you still got to work that lead. They're not live transferring it to you. That's just, hey, here's information. This person signed into your website. Then you have your virtual assistant convert that, call them 15 times in the week, live transfer them to you after they've been screened. It's great. So this is the secret, really. It's part of the whole picture. You'll see that there's not just one secret, there's multiple things adding up to a bigger picture that allows us to, as an individual agent without much of a team at all, maybe one buyer's agent, maybe one or two virtual assistants, and a showing agent, you add all this up and you can do triple digits with relative ease, okay? I would say most people end up somewhere around 40 or 50 sales a year because they end up not doing as many open houses as they should. Just no matter what I say, you end up doing 1 or 2 a week and you're more comfortable there, and then you make a little bit of money and you crank up the online leads and you find that that's more convenient, but you still want to keep the open house business because heck, you made a couple $100,000 from open houses, and so you also get the internet leads coming in. You need a virtual assistant. So go to our Facebook page, fill out the lead form, or send us a message, or call the sales number at the end of this video, and we will help you get a real estate trained virtual assistant trained by me, and you will hopefully have the confidence to make that happen. And we welcome your business, and we're here to help you, to bless you, to encourage you, and to give you all the information that we possibly can find that will increase your sales. So thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate you being here. And like I said, give us a call if you're looking for a virtual assistant. This is Tim Hildebrand with Virtual VACA, and I will talk to you soon.